Welcome back. I'm speaking with journalist and author Anthony Furey, Vice President of True North Media. Anthony, let's talk about Bill C-11. For those who don't know it, can you talk about the bill? This is the federal government's third attempt to pass this internet censorship bill. Tell us about the bill and what's behind it.
Yeah, the bill has been dubbed Justin Trudeau's online censorship bill. What it is purposely for, what the Liberal government says it's for, is to modernize the Broadcasting Act because things are very different in the broadcasting realm than they were 20, 30 years ago. So they want to acknowledge the various online options like streaming services in the way that the CRTC, the regulatory body that manages the whole broadcasting realm, engages with this. And there's no doubt that there needs to be some degree of modernization. Where the concern comes in, Jocelyn, is that they want to do things like compel different broadcasters, streaming services, online portals to engage with content in different ways. For instance, create algorithms that promote some content over others. Now, they say this is in the name of just promoting Canadian culture. For starters, people are asking, well, is it the government's job to promote Canadian homegrown television over American homegrown in terms of how the algorithm works? And secondly, well, what if you actually do something else with these algorithms? What if you say, oh, this thing that's criticizing the government, you got to downplay that a bit, YouTube? So YouTube and other organizations are actually running big ad campaigns right now. It's all over Union Station, downtown Toronto, saying, watch out, government, get your hands off people's content.
Yeah, and we've seen with the Twitter files, the shenanigans that were going on behind the scenes to suppress some content and to bring up some other content. And we really don't need any more censorship in our lives. We wanted to hear both sides of the story. So what impact will this bill have on True North?
Well, the impact on True North, that's an interesting question. I mean, we are a content creator and our video content primarily is going up onto modules like YouTube. So if the government is setting rules for the degree to which algorithms allow people to more readily see the content, the way it's promoted, pushed, appears in the recommended bars, that could negatively affect True North. It can negatively affect any Canadian news organization. It can also negatively affect any Canadian content creator. We've also seen reports that indicate that the content creator economy, because there are a lot of people who either as a side hustle or as their full-time job do create content, user-generated content for places like YouTube and for TikTok. If they feel the rules are too restrictive and they're making a living and they're paying taxes doing this stuff, they're even employing assistants, they're going to hop south of the border, they're going to the United States. So we could actually lose Canadian jobs because of this bill.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've already seen small to medium-sized business moving for other reasons south. We need all the jobs we have right here in Canada. Anthony, as you reflect on the Canadian economy, what do you see as the biggest threat to the economic prosperity that we have here in Canada?
Well, to her point about Bill C-11, government getting way too involved in micromanaging people's choices, I think there are a number of fronts right now where government, the federal government, but other levels of government as well, are really under the misconception that their role is not to facilitate business succeeding by getting out of the way, but to micromanage and tell different industries, this is exactly what you must do, when you must do it, sales targets for electric vehicles, for instance, rather than letting consumers have their choice. And I think that's playing a dangerous game. That's not traditionally how a thriving economy works.
So, Anthony, how could it be different? What would you do if you were in charge of this internet and the rules and regulations about independent media?
Well, when it comes to the internet regulations, it's been described as a multi-pronged assault on the online realm because there's several pieces of legislation the Liberal government has put forward when it comes to internet issues. I think the main thing is to just step back and only regulate things if they're already breaking Canadian law. And I think there are some things going on in the internet that are criminal conduct that are not being adequately probed by the RCMP. And if we want to talk about creating tools for all of that, awful things like child exploitation happen in online forums regularly. We certainly need to crack down on that. But things that are not actually illegal, like algorithms of which content is promoted and what isn't, I don't think the government needs to force that stuff around.
Absolutely. More freedom through more choices, let people see different views and make their own decisions on what is the truth based on what knowledge they have. So We're going to go to break. We'll be right back. You're watching Canadian Innovators. I'm talking to Anthony Furey right here on the News Forum Network. Don't go away.